All right, hockey fans, how's everybody doing today? So, last night, Alex Ovechkin got a hat trick, got goal number 800. He is 94 goals away from Wayne Gretzky's record. And I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of context into just how incredible it is, what he's doing in this day and age, show a little bit of Gretzky's, Ovechkin's statistics, and then talk about the only possibility I think in terms of active players that has a chance to maybe surpass both of them. Maybe. So, few people have always asked me, how did I get into hockey? Born and raised in South Florida, and I'm 51, so that you do the math, there was no hockey in Florida when I was growing up. How I found hockey, how I related to hockey was through the Miami Herald sports section, and to be specific, the Edmonton Oilers. Now, there wasn't much hockey coverage back then, okay? The front page of the sports section was Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes. Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes. And then you had the rest of the stories through the section, and then you had the back where it had all the standings. And then it'd have football and baseball and basketball and college and all the rankings and everything. And right there in the bottom corner, right below the Special Olympics water polo results, was hockey, okay? And I didn't know hockey from nothing. I hadn't even played street hockey at that age by that point. You know, you're talking 13, 14 years old. But I just took an admiration to watching the standings every night and just laughing at everybody trying to play Edmonton. Every night it was 6-1, 10-0, 9-2. It was crazy. And of course, they were winning cup after cup. So I had no idea who they were, but if at 13 years old you asked me who I liked with hockey, it would be the Edmonton Oilers and Gretzky with Messier. So to see what Ovechkin is doing now, it takes me back a little bit. And I didn't get a chance to really watch Gretzky play a whole lot until towards the end of his career and everything. And that's actually part of the thing I wanted to bring up, because what Ovechkin is doing now may not seem unprecedented, but at his age, it's off the charts unprecedented. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to share the NHL all-time points leaders to give you an idea of just how far in front of everybody else on the planet. Wayne Gretzky, 894 goals, 1,963 assists for 2,857 total points. The closest to him is Jaromir Jagr. What's that? 936 points away. Okay, Jagr is in second place, almost 1,000 points away. That's how absurd he is. And then, of course, there's Messier in third place with 1,887. Now, you come down here, and you see the active two. The active leaders are Crosby and Ovechkin, okay? So Crosby's got 534 goals and 1,447 on the points. And Ovechkin is 3 points away from Crosby, but of course he has 800 goals. And he's obviously has far fewer assists, okay? So right there, you look at Gretzky had 1,300 more assists than Ovechkin. So let's look at Gretzky here. What did Gretzky do? All right. He starts off like a bat out of hell. 51, 55, 92 goals, 71 goals, 87 goals, 73 goals. You're not going to ever see those numbers again. Okay, then still 52, 62, 40, 54, 40, 41. Then he starts to age a little bit. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. Ovechkin needs 94 goals to tie Gretzky. Okay? But in Gretzky's later years, in his mid to late 30s, the last 6 seasons that he played here, 91 goals. So I'm going to show you what Ovechkin is doing now. And at that age, that Ovechkin is basically now in this range, the mid to late 30s where Gretzky was. 11, 15, 8, 25, 23, and then 9. So it took him 6 seasons to get 91 goals at the end of his career. Then you go to Ovechkin. Okay, now his scoring is much more evenly spread out, though not any less dynamic. All right, goals, 52. He starts off with 52 goals. 2005, 2006. Okay, we're starting to end the era of the dump and chase and the heavy duty, hard checking style. Right, this is just the starting to be the end of that. Okay, 52, 46, 65, 56, 50, 32, 38, 32, and then he picks it up again. 51, 53, 50. 33, 49. Now, his last 6 seasons, okay, a little bit younger than Gretzky was in his last 6, but not by much. 50, 24, 48, 51, 49, 33. He is way, way outscoring what pace Gretzky was scoring at in his final years, or what you would assume would be Ovechkin's closing in on final years. And he's on pace this year he's looking like he's going to get another 50 goals. So the first thing that you think about there is, well, man, how far could he get in goals? How far ahead of Gretzky and everybody else could he get in goals if he continues to play? I don't know what he has said publicly, but looking at how he is still playing and the pace and the ability that he still has, the dude should have 1,000 goals on his bucket list. I don't see any reason why, barring a major injury, he can't play to 41, 42, 43. And even in those last 3 years, if he only averages 33 goals, I think he can get to 1,000 goals. Now, you start thinking, all right, we get it. Gretzky's the great one. I don't think anybody's going to catch those assists. That's just obscene. Ovechkin, if he continues to play another 5 years, I don't think anybody's going to catch him goals-wise. It's going to be tough. There's one guy who kind of might. Now with Gretzky, if you look over his career, okay, where'd we go here? 890, let's just say 900 goals basically in about 1,500 games, okay? So far more than 1 goal every 2 games, okay? You look at Ovechkin. 800 goals in 1,300 games. Far more than 1 goal every 2 games, okay? That's like a goal and a quarter or so, whatever it is, every 2 games. Now, let's bring up the superstar of today, Connor McDavid. Now, McDavid, obviously younger guy, he's got a long way to go here. Okay, 265 goals in 517 games, which is basically dead on 1 goal every 2 games. So he's not scoring at the same pace that either one of those 2 guys were. Now, he starts off his rookie season. Obviously, he didn't play as many games, okay? Only 16 goals in 45 games. You extrapolate out to a 30-goal season, and you think about it, Gretzky in his first year had 51, right? Ovechkin in his first year had 52. And so now we're going to look over here to Connor McDavid. Okay? Connor McDavid. Like I said, 265 goals, 517 games, 1 goal every 2 games almost directly. Now, first season, 16 goals, then 30, 41, 41. And I think these next couple of seasons, the next 3 really, but at least the next 2, that's where you kind of thought he was going to start scoring 50 or more and put himself in that caliber, in that discussion. Now he had 34, right? Then he only had 33, but that was the shortened season. So it's possible he might have got to 50. Then last year he had 44 goals, and it looks like right now he's finally on pace to hit the 50 goals. Now, assists-wise, though, okay, assists-wise, he's got double, almost double. That's not quite double, but it's almost double the assists that he does goals. Now, it might be a stretch to say that he could catch Gretzky with the assists, but let's look at where Gretzky was after, let me see. Gretzky's numbers are going to be off the charts. I mean, I'm looking at the assists here for Connor McDavid, other than the first year, 70, 67, 75, 63, 72, 79. What was Gretzky averaging? Let's see. Let's share this tab. His assists, holy moly, guys. 86, 109, 120, 125, 118, 135. In 1985-86, Wayne Gretzky got 163 assists for 215 points. And the only reason anybody can even remotely come close to catching him is right here, okay? All of a sudden in 92, 93, there was a massive drop-off. He did have the one more year with 38 goals. But those last 6 years, okay, the best years he had a couple decent years, 25, 72. But he did have a few years here where, he only had the 18 games here for 8 goals. His final season, 70 games, basically a full season with only 9 goals and 53 points. So, or 53 assists. So when you go back and look at Connor David, this is the question for you. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, how many years is McDavid going to play? And that's really the question, right? Okay, so he's what? He was born in 97. Okay, so he enters the league at a young age, 18 obviously. He's still a young guy. He's still improving. And it looks like right now he's on a pace to have the most goals that he'd ever have. I'm curious if you guys think Connor McDavid can catch Gretzky, even if he doesn't catch him on goals. Do you think he can catch him on assists? Because Ovechkin has almost double the goals that he has assists. He's not a big assist guy. Looking at those numbers, man, the point is that that's how big of a deal it is what Ovechkin's doing. Because what Gretzky did, you say, yeah, he played to 39, 40 years old, whatever it was. But the last 6 seasons only had 91 goals. So in other words, you take away Gretzky's last 6 seasons, Ovechkin still hasn't caught him. Ovechkin be fixing to catch him here in the next couple of games, next week or whatever. But Gretzky had 6 extra seasons and Ovechkin still hasn't caught him. So the point being is that the pace that Gretzky was scoring at, I don't think we're ever going to see anybody score at that pace again. 70, 90 goals in a season. Now, what Ovechkin is doing, he started off at a faster pace than McDavid, and he's still scoring 50 goals a season at 37 years old. That's absurd. That's insane. McDavid might have the talent to do it, but if he wants any chance of catching Ovechkin after whenever it is that Ovechkin stops, McDavid he needs to start putting together 50 and 60 goal seasons for like the next 10 years. Seriously. And that's not even an exaggeration because he started so much slower than Ovechkin. So, congratulations to Ovechkin. Now, he needs 94 goals. He's got 50 more games to go here this year. Based on his history, he's going to get another 30 goals. So that would leave him starting next season with 64 goals needed. And what's his? I'm not going to share it, but the most goals in his 3rd season, Ovechkin scored 65. Now, he scored 50 last year. I'm not going to sit here and say that if Ovechkin let's say he gets 52 this year and goes into next season, let's see, that would be 32 more goals. Let's say he goes into next season needing 60. I'm not going to sit here and say he can't do it, right? I'm not going to sit here and say he can't do it. It'll certainly be worth watching in the second half of next season. If he can go into next season only needing 60 and he can get to 25, 30 goals halfway through next year, it could happen. It's not impossible. It's not impossible for him to catch this right at the tail end of next year. Otherwise, you'll be looking at the beginning of the following season. So curious what you guys think there. Curious what you guys think about if Connor McDavid has any chance to catch any of these, and if there's anybody else in the NHL that you think has any chance to catch any of these numbers. But the Gretzky numbers are just off the charts. When you look at it and Yager's like 1,000 points behind him, and you think, holy hell, right? Now, of course, Yager did go and play overseas for a while, and that kind of hurt him. I wonder how close he'd be to Gretzky, but he wasn't going to pass Gretzky. And points-wise, I don't know anybody's ever going to do it. McDavid could do it, but he's got to pick up the pace now, and he's going to have to stay healthy and avoid any big injuries. I think he's the only one with any even modicum of an opportunity to do it. So, all right. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys. I'll have another couple videos out tomorrow. And then the next live stream is tomorrow night, right before the Panther game, half hour before face-off. Appreciate the support. I'll see you later.